We've learned as 5 people charged in a deadly human smuggling attempt in the waters off Del Mar this week appear in court.
The National City teacher accused of sexually abusing 2 of her students was sentenced today. Hear her emotional confession in the courtroom.
A popular restaurant shut down, dozens sick, and now lawsuits are rolling in against a restaurant in Claremont. We'll have the latest.
Temperatures are pretty warm for today, but we're just getting started with that heat, peaking tomorrow.
Surprise! It's Teacher Appreciation Week, and Mr. Anderson just received a $5,000 Helpful Honda surprise.
CBS 8 News Live at 6 starts right now.
We begin tonight with a local woman who was once recognized as a Teacher of the Year, but tonight she's heading to prison after admitting to sexually abusing 2 of her students. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Carlo Cicchetto.
I'm Marcella Lee. Jacqueline Ma pleaded guilty to a number of charges in February, and this afternoon she received her sentence. But before she learned her fate, she read an emotional confession to the judge. CBS 8's Alex Cheney was in the courtroom for the sentencing and joins us live tonight from Chula Vista. Alex?
It was an emotional day in the courtroom, Carlo and Marcella. Today, Jacqueline Ma, that teacher you just spoke of, was sentenced to 30 years to life in prison for sexually abusing 2 of her students. She had an emotional confessional where she cried the entire time and admitted to forcing those 2 young boys into adulthood much too soon.
I'm speaking today because I am guilty of my crimes. I am deeply ashamed of my actions and the harm that I inflicted.
In an emotional statement to the courtroom today, Jacqueline Ma confessed to sexually abusing 2 young boys.
I ripped away their childhoods. Instead of following the path of what a teacher should be, I let my selfishness override the boys' best interests. I'm so sorry.
Ma, who was named one of San Diego County's Teachers of the Year in 2022, was arrested in March of 2023 on allegations that she groomed 2 boys, aged 12 and 11 at the time of the abuse, and entered into a sexual relationship with one of them and tried to with the other.
Boys this age should be playing outside, feeling carefree, and enjoying their last few years of childhood. And instead, I thrusted them into adulthood.
Police were first alerted after the mother of one of the victims reported finding messages between her son and Ma. The boys had no social media, but Ma was still able to communicate with them through tablets they were given at school and through a messaging app in a video game. The prosecution says this case is a reminder to all parents to monitor your child's internet habits.
Just to continue to be vigilant that there no space on the internet is safe for children.
Ma is eligible for parole after 30 years served. Now, neither of the victims or their families were in the courtroom today. However, the mother of one of the victims did share a statement through the prosecutor saying that she cannot believe that she ever trusted Ma and that she is speechless. Ma must now register as a sex offender. Reporting live from Chula Vista Court, I'm Alex Cheney, CBS 8.
Thank you, Alex. Tonight we're learning Eric and Lyle Mendez will have to wait a little longer in their bid for freedom. Today a judge delayed a resentencing hearing to next week. The move follows defense attorneys dropping a motion to have the district attorney removed from the case. They previously argued that Nathan Hochman's involvement would prevent the brothers from getting a fair hearing.
That motion, as we argued in our papers, was completely devoid of merit, and we thought, in fact, we argued it was a desperate and last-ditch motion, not to deal with the facts of resentencing, but to try and throw off the entire district attorney's office based on some alleged conflicts of interest.
The siblings are serving life in prison without parole at Otay Mesa for murdering their parents in 1989. Last year, Hochman's predecessor announced he would push to have them resentenced to 50 years in prison. That recommendation was based on newly discovered evidence and the brothers' record as model prisoners. If the judge agrees, they will be eligible for parole immediately. Hochman wants them to remain locked up. 5 people arrested in Monday's deadly Ponga boat smuggling incident off Del Mar appeared in federal court today. 3 immigrants died on the beach when the boat capsized, and a 10-year-old girl is still missing.
As CBS 8's David Gottfredson reports, today a judge ordered one of the defendants released on bail.
The two men accused of piloting the Ponga boat, which capsized off Del Mar, are facing the most serious charges. Both are Mexican nationals. 26-year-old Julio Zuniga Luna on the left and 30-year-old Jesus Rodriguez Leyva on the right appeared Friday morning for a detention hearing in downtown federal court. Cameras were not allowed inside and the hearing was continued. Both are facing charges of bringing in aliens resulting in death and bringing in aliens for financial gain, charges that could result in the death penalty. Zuniga and Rodriguez were both arrested at the Del Mar beach Monday morning. At least 3 people died: a 55-year-old man from Mexico, an 18-year-old man from Mexico, a 14-year-old boy from India, and that boy's 10-year-old sister has not been found and is presumed dead. The parents of those 2 children from India were transported to Scripps La Jolla Hospital along with another adult and another young minor girl, for a total of 4 people hospitalized. Scripps would not provide an update on their conditions today, citing patient privacy. In court Friday, 3 other Mexican nationals arrested hours later in Chula Vista also appeared. One of them, 33-year-old Gustavo Lara, is accused of driving a vehicle that was transporting some of the immigrants who escaped from the beach. Lara's wife was present in court, and his attorney told the judge he is a father of a 1-year-old, works as an Uber driver, and has no criminal history. The judge ordered him released on $5,000 bond, and he is expected to be out of custody tonight. 2 other defendants also appeared in court and had their detention hearings continued. Those 2 boat pilots remain in custody. No decision has been made on whether they will face the death penalty. They'll be back in court on May 15th. David Gottfredson, CBS 8.
Thanks, David. Grossmont Union High School district leaders are moving forward with dozens of layoffs despite passionate pleas from the public not to cut jobs. The move would impact teachers, librarians, counselors, and support staff. Superintendent Sandra Huezo has said that cuts are necessary in the face of declining enrollment and long-term budget challenges.
All right, we got a little bit of a taste of it today, but get ready for it to warm up even more.
Chief Meteorologist Carlene Chavis joining us now with a look at Mother's Day weekend forecast. Carlene?
Well, here's the thing. You're going to start off with the hot temperatures by Saturday. Moms, hey, you'll be happy by Sunday. A little bit of a change up in the forecast, a little cooler. Let's take a look at those weather impacts. So when we look at what's happening, you have the heat that's going to be on, peaking on Saturday. So you start off strong with that sunshine and also that strong sunshine and heat. So the UV index will be at a very high range. Make sure if you're going to be out there that you are also protecting your skin. When we look at the temperatures, 97 degrees to 101. Yeah, it's going to be hot out there. It was already warm today, warmer than usual with widespread 90s across the inland valleys. You're looking at more of that by tomorrow. So a heat advisory goes into effect at 10 a.m., lasting all the way until 9 p.m. for tomorrow night. It's a good time to remind you when we do start to get some of these heat waves moving through, drinking plenty of water. Also eating cold foods, fruits as well that contain water, like watermelon. Also cool temperatures on the inside, so utilize those cool zones, AC, also avoiding those strenuous outdoor activities, especially during the midday hours where we get the most intense sun rays. So we'll go ahead and take a look at those highs for tomorrow and also the whiplash that we're going to experience by next week because it's going to be significantly cooler by Monday and Tuesday. Details ahead. Carlo.
Thanks, Carlene. And as always, you can find an extended weather forecast on CBS 8 Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
Legal action is underway after a Salmonella outbreak linked to a popular local restaurant.
County health officials have confirmed dozens of illnesses, and now the restaurant is facing a lawsuit. CBS 8's Brian White has details on the growing fallout.
Yeah, the Aladdin Cafe here in Claremont is still closed. Victims say their lives were turned upside down after eating here, and tonight they're demanding accountability. 37 cases and growing. 9 have been hospitalized for salmonella poisoning after eating at this Mediterranean cafe.
They all contracted the symptoms of salmonella poisoning, which are fever, diarrhea, vomiting, sometimes bloody. fatigue, and intense abdomen pain. This is becoming a very, very serious outbreak.
Ron Simon, a food safety attorney representing more than 20 of the victims, says the outbreak was entirely preventable and the restaurant is legally liable.
In the United States, if a restaurant serves food that poisons someone, they're liable no matter what, whether they intended to or knew about it or not.
He says poor hygiene or improper food handling likely played a role.
You got to think about it. Salmonella is only found in the feces of animals and humans. So somehow feces got in the food.
The restaurant closed on May 1st. County Health told CBS 8 that management has been working with them on remediation efforts. And they say the investigation into the source of the outbreak is still ongoing.
It's either going to be that they received contaminated food from a supplier and they didn't cook it high enough to kill it, or they had a sick worker that was going to the bathroom, not washing their hands, and contaminating the food.
Simon has already filed a lawsuit and expects the number of victims to grow.
We will get compensation for their lost wages, for their medical bills, for the pain they endured and the suffering they've endured.
Some victims are still recovering, including one person hospitalized for over 10 days.
If a customer goes to a restaurant and buys food, the customer's placing an enormous amount of trust in the restaurant that they've done everything it takes to make sure that that food was safe and ready to eat. In this case, that trust was breached, and Aladdin's going to have to pay for it.
The restaurant has not yet responded for comment. If you dined at Aladdin between April 25th and May 1st and feel ill, you're urged to seek medical care or report your symptoms to County Health. In Claremont, Brian White, CBS 8.
Thank you, Brian. San Diego Padres fans are remembering Mr. Padre on what would have been his 65th birthday.
Tony Gwyn was a legend here in San Diego. He spent his entire 20-year Major League Baseball career with the Friars. He was a 15-time All-Star and 8-time National League batting champion and was inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame in 2007. Today, we stopped by a Tony Gwyn mural to see how fans are remembering him on his birthday.
Happy birthday, Tony. It was great. It's great for the Padres.
Tony Gwyn, that man. He the Barry Bonds of San Diego.
Tony Gwyn died of cancer in 2014 at only 54 years of age, but his legacy, of course, lives on here in San Diego.
He gave so much to this community in his 54 years here.
Just far too young, far too young, and he was just a real buoyant spirit. He was just very lively.
Very young, so good in the community, so good to people. His legacy definitely lives on.
All right, and don't forget to tune into CBS 8 tomorrow night to watch the Friars take on the Colorado Rockies. We'll have a live report from Coors Field in Denver when our coverage begins at 4:30. The game broadcast begins at 5:15. Saturday night is baseball night on CBS 8. The new tool launched by state leaders to help make sure you're ready for a wildfire emergency.
Those details still ahead, plus the plea from the San Diego Humane Society as it takes in a record number of animals in just one day.
People lined up here at Petco Park waiting to see legendary singer-songwriter Elton John, and it's all for a good cause. That story coming up.